I just went to the marijuana store here in Tacoma. It's on South D Street and South 72nd Street. It's called Zips. So I walk in and I notice there's two men working there. They're both rather large and they're both doormen. There's also about 10 women working there. They're all behind the counter, and most of them are drop dead gorgeous, and all of them are at least pretty, according to modern standards. I thought to myself, this does seem sexist and biased as all shit. I looked at most of the customers. I'm like, see, the customers are a nice selection. There's fat people, there's short people, there's people with no teeth, there's old people, there's young people, there's all sorts of people. But you look at who's behind the counter. It's pretty people between the ages of 21 and maybe 30 at most. They're all female. So I got up to the counter. I just couldn't help myself. I was having a bad day. A guy tells me, hey man, here's $5. Go down, get yourself a fucking joint. Get yourself fucking blazed as all hell, and then make a decision. I like that idea. So the lady brings me True OG and Blackberry. I say to the woman, mind you, I'm not feeling very good. I'm pretty fucking depressed. I said to her, I knew some True OGs down in Cali. Then I moved to Denver, and there's a bunch of punks who think they're OG. She said, so you want the OG? I said, hell no. I'll take the Blackberry. So it's already in a bag, and she asks me if I want a bag for it. I said, you want me to double bag it? Is your weed really that dirty? Meanwhile, the dude at the door who checks your ID, he's got a shirt on that says Juicy Joints, and on the back it says, if it ain't juicy, it ain't shit. So as I'm walking out the door, I just couldn't help myself. I said, that saying on the back of your shirt, that's the reason I eat pulled pork sandwiches instead of bran flakes. They laughed at my jokes. People usually laugh at my jokes. A lot of people can't even tell I'm depressed because I still make jokes. You don't like me on the internet, you should meet me in person. I'm really a fucking joy to behold. Unless you're screaming at me or bullying somebody in front of me or a cop. I try to be nice to all the cops. I really do. But then when I need one, the question arises, what are we paying these people for? I needed an officer to do something that officers are supposed to do, right? Well, what do you do when they don't do it? What does Rory Jepson in Chapel, Nebraska do when Sheriff Scott DaCosta will not take a report from him? There was a young woman who was raped in Boulder. She went through a scenario that I've reported on so many times. Her last name is Celia Teresa Celia. And she went through the same treatment at the hands of the Boulder Police Department that I did. They actually arrested her for being raped. When I was arrested on January 6th, I was trying to make a police report. I was trying to tell them what was going on. They kept on talking over me, trying to change the subject. The only thing that they were interested in was me saying that I didn't want to be there. That was the only thing they wanted to hear. Nothing else that came out of my mouth mattered to these son of a bitches. So when they took me to the hospital, it was obvious they weren't going to take my report. So I called Miss Jerry. I've got Tim Beeson threatening to put me in the ground. I got a bunch of internet wingnuts I don't know, like Dalton Crawford, threatening my life. Meanwhile, this guy, I find out later that while he was threatening my life, he was with Alesia Bollinger. Fuck Alesia. Fuck your Jesus. Your sister is dead because of your decisions. You could have easily been an adult about it and just told the truth. That would have been so fucking easy. So, I got marijuana. I'm going to go smoke it, and then I'm going to call the cops. Am I going to call the cops because I'm smoking marijuana? Fuck no. By the time that fucking phone works, I'll probably be sobered up anyway. I don't believe in smoking and driving, so I'm going to go park someplace and puff the fuck up. Even if I'm not sober by the time this phone starts working, I'll still call the cops, because by the time they show up, I will probably be sobered up. That's if they show up at all. Thank goodness for marijuana, right? I miss my loved ones. And the people that want to tell me about their grandma who died a couple months ago, or whoever it is that died, keep in mind I've had a lot of people die just this month. Keep in mind that I still go at it. I don't use those deaths as an excuse not to do the right thing. I don't use those deaths as an excuse not to keep my word. And I kept my word to all of these people until they didn't keep theirs. When you don't keep your end of the bargain, you don't get to complain that I didn't keep mine. You made your choice. You want to tell me about the decisions that I made? I made a decision. I did. I made a decision to fight back against the abuse. To fight back against this rape society. Before Christmas in 2017, I got rid of 2 types of people in my life. The first ones were the people who reciprocated this rape culture, and most of them were actually women. If you type things like, I wish Johnny Depp would rape me, then I got rid of you. You were no longer on my friends list. If you complained about how terrible men are while posting up half-naked pictures of Jason Momoa, I got rid of you. But also, the people that I felt would be harmed the most by me speaking out, I got rid of them too. There's a reason I got rid of these people. Just like there's a reason that when I left Virginia, I was done with Alesia and Natalie. By the time I got out of the state, I was done with Maddie Boa too. Didn't want to have anything to do with her. And I wouldn't have had any further dealings with her if it hadn't been for the rumors and the bullshit that I was going through. You know how many times I attempted to contact Miss Jerry after I left Virginia? None. How about Lana and Amanda? None. How about Candace Bondurant? None. When I was done with them, I was fucking done with them. However, the difference is that nobody came after me over Miss Jerry. Nobody came after me over Lana. Nobody came after me over Amanda or Tyler. Nobody came after me over Uncle Mike. Nobody came after me over Candace. Nobody came after me over my dad. Nobody came after me over any of the people that I got rid of while I was in Virginia in 2016. Nobody. Not over any of those people. They came after me over Maddie Boa, Alesia Bollinger, and Natalie Bollinger. And that is why I got back in contact with those people. That is why I was trying to get the police to take my fucking report. That's why I needed someone to listen to me in person instead of typing pretty memes and going out of their way to take my texting wrong. Fuck this goddamn country. If it stood for the Constitution instead of for Nazism, maybe I would believe some of this Make America Great bullshit. But no, we're doing what Adolf Hitler did. We're doing what Eichmann did. We're doing what Himmler did. We're doing what Goering did. Or Goering, depending on if you're from northern or southern Germany. We're doing the things we fought against in World War II. Fuck this country and fuck you too. You support this shit. Turning a blind eye is supporting it. You are allowing it to happen. And you're fine with it because it's not happening to you. There was a poem by a German priest from World War II. Afterwards, he said, first they came for the socialist, but I was not a socialist. So I didn't speak out. Then they came for the Jews, and I was not a Jew, so I did not speak out. Then, when they came for me, there was no one to speak out for me. I needed an advocate. They used the term mentally ill to do whatever they wanted. And that's why I needed somebody there. Somebody who knew what the fuck was going on. Somebody to actually go in with me. Peaches is like, well, I offered. I know you did, Miss Peaches. But you never found the time to follow through. Not until June or July. July, I believe, of 2017. And it wasn't just her schedule, it was also mine. All of my money was going back and forth between court dates. I didn't have money for anything else. I didn't have the gas to go see Miss Peaches unless I was going to court in Boulder or court in Denver. Mandy Hughes helped me out. She and her daughter Alyssa came up with enough money for me to have gas to go to 2 of my court dates. If it hadn't been for them, I'd have been fucked. If it hadn't been for Dan Faber helping me out with tires, I'd have been fucked. If it hadn't been for Dan helping me out with getting telephones, I'd have been fucked. This whole time I've been trying to turn these goddamn telephones into the cops who won't take a look. I need someone who can make the police do their job, who can enforce law enforcement. If law enforcement isn't enforcing anything, what the fuck are we paying them for?